Today I really wanted to talk a bit about compassion, not just compassion as leaders of teams, of businesses, leaders within our own household and communities, but also what compassion would look like for ourselves, self-compassion and practicing being kinder to ourselves. The word compassion has become a little bit of a buzzword, and a lot of people like to talk about compassionate leadership, but it's not often clear what is meant by that and how do we actually practice that meaningfully. So I thought perhaps that was a good topic to explore. I remember in the earliest days of managing a team going through a leadership training and the facilitator asking the question, what is the difference between sympathy, empathy, and compassion? And honestly, I was somewhat stumped. I knew basically the difference between sympathy and empathy, but compassion was a little bit different for me, or it wasn't something that I'd really explored previously. And Jeff Weiner, the CEO of LinkedIn, used to talk about this a lot, and he used to talk about the importance of compassionate leadership based on his learnings from the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama talks about compassion as the definition being, imagine you are walking through a mountainous area and you come across somebody that has been struck down by a boulder, and that boulder is weighing heavily on their chest to the point where they are in real trouble, suffocating. Empathy would be sympathy would be, I recognize that must be painful. I can see that must be painful. Empathy would be, I can actually feel the crushing weight of a boulder on me. I know that pain and I'm in that pain with you in this moment. Compassion is, I recognize that pain, I can see and know that pain is excruciating, and because I am a separate entity from you, I can take action to alleviate some of that suffering. So it's very much more of an action-based response. So for those of you that are leading teams and leading businesses through this crisis, the simplest way that you can demonstrate compassion for your team and for those around you is to start by listening, seeking to understand, listening with the intent to hear, not with the intent to reply. Creating a space and holding a space where people feel that they can share the experience. And although you are in it with them, so you know that experience, you are also able to step up and out and find ways that you can respond to and take action in that time. But it's very essential that you are listening, trying to understand, asking for what people need, and not assuming at this point in time. And then for those of us who, like me and many others that I know of in my own personal life, but I think that this is something that is a human experience, we are our own worst critics. We place an incredibly high bar of expectation of ourselves, much more so than we perhaps would of others. And so in times of immense stress and uncertainty, where all we're craving as human beings is clarity and answers and boundaries and expectations and frankly certainty, is we'll start to say unkind things to ourselves, or to beat ourselves up, or to tell ourselves narratives that are really not that productive. So it is also important, regardless of who you are, to practice some self-compassion. And how we do that is to think about how we would, in fact, talk to ourselves as if we were our best friend, or as if we were a person that we cared about. So try today to practice, instead of hearing this narrative of I need to be doing more, I should have done that differently, or why didn't I, etc., which in some aspects, if it's driving us forward, you might think is productive, but if it's actually holding us back from being the person that we want to be, or holding us back from achieving what we want and maximizing our potential, it is not in service of us. So how do you find ways to talk to yourself as though you are your own best friend, to zoom out and to make sure that we are providing a more resourceful voice to listen to as we navigate through this time? So see how you go with practicing compassion, not just for yourself, but also for those around you. And let me know. Get in touch. Have a lovely day, stay safe, and speak soon.